Okay, updated video about doing deck edits. I just want to show you, this here is my Fairies Fantasy deck, and it looks pretty slick with black edges. Standard card decks, will have white edges regardless of what it is there. So the fairies had a white edge and now they have a black. The biggest trick of all is you must use a permanent marker. This one's a Sharpie, and like this one's small. You can get big fat Sharpies and whatnot. And Sharpies you can get in so many different colours, and they are a permanent marker. And the trick to doing these is, I'll just take a face card. Do not try and do it from the front. Main reasons are, if you're trying to go around your edges here on the front and you slip, you're going to have a lovely slip picture across the face of your card. So the trick is you have to do it from the back of the card, and also only do the edge and only one, that's just one at a time. So you are merely just running your edge over the side or the tip of the actual marker, and you are going, see how I've slipped? See that? Don't know if you can see that. Where I've slipped and it's over the back. If I'm quick enough, it will come off, but now I'm not quick enough, so it's stuck there. This is why it's so important to use your pens at your own risk, I will advise here, but do them from the back. And don't do them like you do me with a video and cause a hickey like that, because it's not very nice. But if you do them and do them carefully, they look really stunning. So that's what I did here with my Fairies Fantasy. I used a black. You can also get Sharpies in metallics, and this here is my learner deck. And I actually used a gold metallic. Now, it doesn't come up all them super shiny like gilt edge cards, but then gilt edge cards, it always comes off anyway. But I used a gold Sharpie on those just to tone it down a little, and it looks really nice against the brown. I also used the gold like that on my Alice cards as well. But the same thing, please work from the back of them. You've got to have the permanent marker, and I can't stress enough that it is at your own risk. Now you can also use, and I've got various here, these are alcohol markers which are permanent. This one's just called Chisel Fusion, and they have a double end on these. You have a square chisel tip, and then these ones have a tiny little fine one. And you can also use, some people call them Copic, some people call them Copic, but these two are an alcohol marker. So they are permanent, and Copics come in the squares or they come in the rounds. It really, sometimes they come, I think, smaller, some of the bigger. They're both the same thing. And same process. That one's got a chisel tip, bullet tip, whatnot. And we are going to do it from the back of the card. This time I'm actually not looking through the camera. I'm going to look at the card. And you can just see, I don't know if you can see that edge there where I've got the pink and then I've got the white edge. So I'm going very careful around my corners. And I'm going there. And I'm going there. Oops. And there. So, oh, I missed that corner there. And now that card has a pink edge. The other thing to remember is, once you've done all these, I want you to lay them all out on a baking rack or a cookie rack, cake rack, whatever you like to call it. And I want you to let them dry overnight, just in case. Like, I'm just going to put that in the middle. And hang on. See how you can see? That's a pink one. So now I have to go and do the whole deck, don't I? Just to show you. But that's what we did by just having that pink edge in a Copic or Copic marker. So Sharpies though do also come in so many different varieties of colours, and you can do all sorts of them. You might find a lovely turquoise blue. Like I said, you might just have a black one handy, brown if you want. But like I said, it's quite simple when you just go very lightly around the edge. I actually prefer these chisel tip ones because as bigger it is, I find I don't have the risk of the slip as I go around. And I just find the chisel easier to just go around. And look, you can do them on just about any card deck you have. I don't know what the composition is of a lot of decks that are out there. I imagine most of them are just card stock. The only time this would not work would be if you have plastic cards. And you also, if your gilt edging is coming off any particular deck that you have, you can't sadly replace or rejuvenate gilt edge decks. But if they're looking ready, you can certainly bring out your Sharpie and touch them up. So there you go. Now I should have had them dry, but I'll just put those few together in the middle of the deck and you can see the difference. So there you go.